Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening. It's about 11 a.m. Central Time here in the United States. I hope everybody is doing well. Today is March 5th, and I just wanted to go over some of the important events that happened today in history on March 5th. A big one, a really big one, is 1770 was the first casualties, or what started the American Revolution, the Boston Massacre in 1770. There were British troops guarding a consulate or a British compound of some kind, perhaps a garrison. The settlers, the Americans, chanted and heckled the British soldiers. The British soldiers were told to bayonet their rifles. They were throwing snowballs or bottles or what have you. I'm not sure, but one of the soldiers was hit with an object and he was not happy and he opened fire. And just like today, when one individual opens fire, they all open fire. And that's what happened, and several, if not 10 or less or a little more, I'm not quite sure, were killed. And this was the impetus. This was the start. This was the backlash. This was the backflow. This caused a lot of problem, and the settlers, of course, were upset with taxation without representation. Does that sound familiar today? Taxation without representation? It sure does. It sure does to me. And 1966. In 1963, the hula hoop was patented. If you don't know what the hula hoop is, Google it. Some of you are too young to know about the hula hoop. It sold 25 million units, and it was very, very popular. It was designed and manufactured by the Whammo company, the same company that manufactured the Frisbee. The original Frisbee name, if you can believe this, was Pluto Plate. At the time in the early or the late 50s, 57 or so, extraterrestrials and UFOs are very, very talk of the town. Everybody was interested in life beyond our here. So they called the Frisbee the Pluto, as in the planet, and plate as in flying saucer. The Pluto Plate, later renamed the Frisbee. And that gentleman was Arthur Spud Mellon, is the inventor of the company and who started the Frisbee, the Whammo, and they had some other products as well. I don't know if the Nerf football is from Whammo. I don't want to speculate, but so it was around the 50s when it was invented, and then today, on March 5th in 1963, it was patented, and they sold 25 million units in 4 months. 25 million units in 4 months. So this was a very, very popular, I don't know what to call the hula hoop. You can decide yourself. If you Google it, you'll see the hula hoop in action. It's quite a unique, it's sort of like the slinky. Yeah, Google the slinky too. The slinky, a slinky, fun for a boy and a girl. A slinky goes what? Upstairs and down the stairs. A slinky, Google a slinky too. You'll find out what that is. A lot of people just don't know about this stuff because they haven't been introduced to it properly. And that's what's great about the internet. You can find anything about anything on your internet. There's a lot of noise today, and sometimes all that noise blocks out some very interesting things. In 1969, Jim Morrison was charged in Miami with lewd conduct, foul language, simulation of copulation or fellatio on one of his band members on stage at a concert about 5 days before today in history, and today was charged. He didn't want to take a plea bargain to put on a free concert for what have you, and he was fined, I think, $500 and sentenced to prison time. But he was in Europe drinking at the time and passed away, so he never did any jail time. And that was 1969, and Jim Morrison, of course, was the lead singer. Very controversial young man, liked his cocktails, and of the rock band the Doors. If you haven't heard any Doors, very interesting music at that. And the last thing I want to talk about, which is very dear to me, the Green Berets were a special unit of the Army. The Green Berets, they were special forces. I don't know if they're still, I think the hat has been I'm not sure, you'll have to figure that out. But in 1966, Sergeant Barry Sandler, who was a musician of sorts and a songwriter before he was drafted perhaps, was injured in Vietnam severely, enough to take him out of service by one of those pingins or the pungeons or those bamboo traps. They sharpen bamboo sticks to a stake, and then they make a booby trap. And Sergeant Barry Sandler was injured in one of these booby traps, and he was sent to hospital. And while in hospital recuperating, he penned the lyrics, he sung the song, and he did this. It's called the Ballad of the Green Berets. And if you have never heard it, you've got to hear it. It's something that I remember listening to. It sold 1 million copies. It was on the Billboard magazine's #1 hit single for the whole year of 1966. And it was just, it's a touching ballad. And I just wish the leaders of this country in Washington can just kind of grow up and mature. And after you hear the lyrics of this song, you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not a warmonger by any stretch of the notion, but this is a very patriotic, very, very solemn song, and it hits me. It hits me. It hits me. It hits me. It moves me. I don't know if I can. I know I can't do this justice, and I know YouTube will probably kick me off the platform if they hear the music. So I don't know if I can sing it. Maybe I'll just say the words. I don't know. I'll give it a try, and I'll do my best. Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret. Silver wings upon their chest, these are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 will win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat, hand in hand, men who fight by night and day, courage taken from the Green Beret. Silver wings upon my chest, these are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 will win the Green Beret. Back at home, a young wife waits. A Green Beret has met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her this last request. Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. He'll be a man they'll test one day. Have him win the Green Beret. And this song was written in honor of the first Hawaiian national killed in Vietnam. It was James Gabriel Jr., the first Native American who was assassinated in Vietnam on April 8th, 1962. He was on a training mission and or a reconnaissance mission of some kind, and he was assassinated, the first Hawaiian native to be killed in Vietnam. So with that said, It's a moving song. It's a moving ballad. A lot of people have done it or sang it. You'll see it on YouTube. You'll pick out the version that you like most. I like the original version by Barry Sadler, and just a beautiful, beautiful song. And there was something else I wanted to go over with you. I don't want to take too much of your Friday. It's the weekend. Everybody's excited about that. And I don't know where I put it. America's best. Oh, what a song. What a song. See, not everybody during that time was against the Vietnam War. There was a segment of the population that were for the war. They were still gung-ho for the war. At that time, they didn't know what we know today about that war. So that song was kind of just to kind of kick back some of the anti-war attitudes that were very popular back in the 60s, the early 60s, the middle 60s with the Vietnam War. This is a few tips that you might want to take with you on your weekend. 6 things you should never do again. 6 things you should never do again. Pass the sink without washing your hands. After just 2 hours of touching door handles, shopping carts, and other public surfaces, your hands become basically the greatest number of organisms, not orgasms, organisms. If you read that word quick, you might say orgasm. It's not orgasm, it's organisms. Your body be basically the greatest number of organisms, see what I mean? You can hold system aim to sanitize or wash your hands every hour when out in public. Not an easy thing to do. Most restrooms are out of service. Most restrooms, you need a key that's not available, or a restroom is dirty and unusable, or a restroom doesn't have paper towels and no soap, and you know, it's very hard to wash your hands out in public every hour. You need access to a clean bathroom, restroom, paper towel. I don't like the blowers, paper towels, soap, and whatnot. And to be able to lock up a door. You got to be able to lock that bathroom door. You don't want to leave a public restroom door unlocked while you're doing whatever you're doing inside. So, you know, tough advice. It's hard to follow. Easy to write, easy to pen, but hard to follow. Never leave home without a pen in your pocket. That's what I like to do. I usually keep a piece of paper. You never know when you're going to have that fender bender and you need to write somebody's license plate number down. I usually like to keep a pen. Always keep a pen before you go out. I mean, most flu viruses can live on non-porous surfaces for a day or two, meaning the pen, the way to hand you with the check, can pass cold and flu germs. Keep your own plastic ball pen with you so you can avoid touching a communal pen at a restaurant or bank, etc., etc., etc. Number 3, I don't agree with this one. This is never wake up to an alarm clock. How are you going to make it to work on time? If you go to bed late, how are you going to get up on time? Your body needs rest. It's not going to wake up if it needs more sleep. I go to bed late. I need an alarm clock. Today I used an alarm clock. So I don't agree with this one at all. This is out of San Francisco too. So, they got more regulation in California upon regulation, but they don't have a regulation about pooping in the street. That's okay, but I'm not going to go there. I don't want to throw California under the bus. Researchers from the University of California, San Francisco, they squirted some kind of virus up somebody's nose and monitored their sleep for 6 days. Those who slept fewer than 5 hours on average were 4.5 times more likely to become infected than those who slept more than 7 hours. All right, what does that have to do with alarm clocks, buddy? I don't like that one. Number 4, never drive when you could walk. I agree with this one. I walk all over the place since my car is out of commission. Researchers comparing inactive people with those who walk briskly nearly every day found that people who rarely walk took twice as many sick days over a 3-month period. So sick days, some people get them, some people don't. Some people take advantage of them, some people don't. Some people save their sick days so when they retire, those sick days, if they have enough over a 30-year period, will add service credit to their already booming pension. So everybody's different. Everybody handles their sick days differently. And it's none of my business what you do with your sick days. And the last 2 is Never smoke a cigarette again. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would want to damage your only air-producing system. Your air-producing system. That's how you breathe, your lungs. Why would you want to fill those lungs with harmful nicotine, smoke, vapor, anything? I don't know, but it's popular. People keep doing it. Just, you should go and visit a hospital with people with lung cancer maybe and see how they're doing, and maybe that'll change your mind. We tried to get the cigarette packs to show the graphic photographs of medical pictures of people with cigarette associated medical issues. Of course, the big business and the big wigs in Washington and the lobbyists cut that in half. But I believe it should have been let go, and it should have been able to go forward. But money wins, money wins. The people with the most money, they win. And unfortunately, the people with all the money wanted to keep those graphic photographs off the cigarette packages. Just in case you need another reason to quit, studies show COVID-19 patients with a history of smoking are 91% more likely than non-smokers to die or reach a critical condition with the COVID-19. And the last one, never eat buffet style. Another one I don't agree with. I love a buffet. I love to fill my plate about this high and then just leave it on there and go get another one and leave it on there and go get another one and just look at them and decide I don't want them and go get 3 more. Filling your plate from open chafing dishes and using serving utensils that everyone else is touching and breathing over may increase your risk of picking up a virus. Try hard to avoid shared food. So who knows? Who knows about those? You can take advantage of them. You can say no. You can say yes. I'm not terribly paranoid about COVID-19, but I am taking precautions. I am taking precautions when I can. I do mask up, and hopefully we'll get through this. The light at the end of the tunnel is coming, and we'll get through this. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Hello to our friends down under in New Zealand. I hope you're okay with that terrible earthquake and the tsunami warning, and everybody is okay. So have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend, and just smile. These are men, American best, in my stripes upon my chest. These are men, America's best on earth.